Okay, so the second part, right, of doing simplifying polynomials and factoring them. So let's say now on this one, we're going to ramp it up. Now we've got two sets of parentheses and it says simplify, write in standard form. So the first thing you want to do when you're trying to simplify is if there's parentheses, you want to distribute and get rid of them, okay? So remember, every variable, if it doesn't have a number on it, it has a base of 1 and it has an exponent of 1. So when you multiply, right, 1 times 1 for bases is 1. But now when we have our x's, what's our exponent on the x? 2. Yep, because you got to add that, right? 1 plus 1 is 2. All right. So then we're going to do the next one. 1x times 4. We're going to do 1 times 4 is 4. And then the x has to go on that one. And we know it's x to the 1 power. Now, when you do the next one, right, there's a minus sign. So this is a negative 1x, and there's a hidden 1 on there. So when we distribute this one, it's negative 1 times 4. So that gives us negative 4x to the what power? Third. And now we're going to do negative 1 times negative 2 here. So that gives me positive 2x to the what power? X to the 1. So now two things have to happen. When we do these bigger ones, you have to add the like terms and put it in standard form, right? So are there like terms here? Yes. What are they? 4x and 2x, right? So if I add those together, I really get 6x, a positive 6x in there. Make sense? Okay, now let's put it in standard form. Raise your hand and tell me the order in which this should go. Go ahead.
Negative 4x to the third.
Yep.
Plus 1x to the second.
And okay, go ahead.
X.
Perfect. And when I wrote it, I took the 1 back off of it because that's what you would see like on a test. So this is the final answer right here. Not that bad, right? It's just combining some of the things that we know. All right, factor the polynomials. What we didn't see is more than one variable, okay? So factor still means find the GCF, put the parentheses back in. So the GCF now, the number, okay, what's the greatest common factor of 36 and 24? Well, it's 6, okay? Now, think of this as two separate ones. What's the maximum number of x's you could take out of both? 2. What is the maximum now number of y's you could take out of both? Also 2. So this is what goes on the outside of our parentheses, 6x squared, y squared. Then we do a parentheses. And so if you divide 36 by 6, you get 6, right? If you take x squared out, what are you left with? We don't know. 2 minus 2 is 0, right? We have no x's left. Okay? 4 minus 2 for the y's is y to the second. That's all that's left. The x's, we took them all, so there was 0 left. All right, 24 divided by 6 gives us positive 4 here. If I take 2 x's out of my x to the fourth, what am I left with? 2 x's. How many y's would I be left with? 0. So this is the answer. Sorry, it looks kind of weird, but this is the final answer here. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, now let me go to our extra examples that I want to add just to make sure we got everything in here. All right. Okay. This one I'm not as concerned about. We'll come back to A another time, maybe on Monday for bell work, okay? Let's do B though, just to save time. So simplify and write in standard form. The reason I wanted to add this one is we also haven't simplified when there's more than one variable, right? So let's simplify when there's more than one variable. Remember I told you, right? When we simplify, it's kind of like a marriage, when you're mixing a marriage, right, where the husband and the wife already have children, right? So remember, there's a hiding base of 1 on here, right? So mom marries dad, right? Okay, so 2 times 1 gives us 2 for our new base. Now, mom has 2 girls, let's say, and no boys because there's no Y's on there. But dad has three girls and how many boys? 1. So when they marry, how many X's or girls do they have in the family now? 5. How many boy children? 1. So you put that on. Does that make sense? All right, let's do it again. So now we have to distribute over here. So again, same kind of concept, right? Mom marries dad, okay? So 2 times 3 gives us
6.
okay. Now in this case, right? How many X's or girls does this marriage have? 2. How many Y's does this marriage have? 4. In this case, it would be like mom has 2 girl children and dad has 4 boy children. And when they become a family, 2 girls, 4 boys. This is the answer. Okay. All right. Are we not understanding that? Or we are?
Yes.
Okay. Last one then. Okay. So, and again, we only probably have to do one of these for the video. Let's do A. So factor, and I kind of already started this with you. What's the greatest common factor number for 13 and 39?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. What is the maximum number of X's you could take out of both terms? 1. What's the maximum number of Y's? 2. Okay, so our outside term is 13xy to the second power. Okay, let's do this. 13 divided by 13 is what? 1. And I'm putting the 1 in, knowing that if it were on like a big test, the 1 wouldn't be there. All right, if I take an X out, how many X's are left?
0.
None, so we don't write it. How many Y's are left?
0.
Also 0. So we have to put the 1. Because if I don't put the 1, there aren't any variables left, right? So in this case, I have to put the 1. All right, 39 divided by 13 equals
3.
what? Positive 3. Okay, x squared, if I take an x out, how many is left? 1. Okay, y squared, if I take y squared out, how many is left?
0.
So I don't put any on. This is the final answer. Okay, some of them do look super weird. All right, that's the lesson. Okay, it's just an extension of what we've been doing. Okay,